There's something special about that kid. He always put a smile on my face. I always loved that kid. I always will.
Students and faculty mourn the loss of one of their own at Lookout Valley. The news starts now.
With coverage you can count on, this is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 6 in HD.
A local high school student was killed while riding his bicycle to school this morning.
Now, police have not released his name, but we know he was a junior at Lookout Valley Middle and High School. The school told students the sad news at the beginning of the day. Counselors were brought in for students and staff as they began the grieving process. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Kate Smith joins us live from the scene on Browns Ferry Road with more. Kate.
David, police say the teenager was attempting to cross 5 lanes of traffic when he was struck from behind. They spent hours trying to piece together exactly what happened. Tragedy struck early Wednesday morning on Browns Ferry Road. A student on his way to school was hit and killed.
A young man was crossing the road on his bicycle and was struck by traffic.
The junior at Lookout Valley Middle and High School was taken to Erlanger, where he later died. It was a difficult day for students as they learned the news.
I was in band and I just dropped everything I did and I just started crying.
For hours, crime scene tape blocked off a portion of the busy road as police worked to understand what happened and why.
Don't believe the smoke and fog is as much of a contributing factor as it was just being dark.
They say the boy was crossing the street when he was struck and was not wearing any reflective gear.
Well, just be smart when you make those decisions. If you're wherever you're on a bicycle or walking, with the traffic, just make sure you're paying attention to what's going on.
Police are using this tragedy as a reminder for drivers to always be alert and never take your eyes off the road.
Make sure you're paying attention and not being in bicycle lanes or driving on sidewalks in order to cause something like that happen.
Police say the driver, 37-year-old Kimberly Hartmut, is cooperating with them. They say that speed and alcohol is not a factor in this crash, that she stopped immediately after hitting the teenager. For now, I'm live in Hamilton County. Kate Smith, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Kate. More updates coming on WRCBTV.com. 7 new fires rage on in the Tennessee Valley, and officials are starting to crack down on arsonists.
Fire investigators say about half of the 67 fires burning right now have been deliberately set. So far, 7 suspects have been arrested for arson statewide. 2 of those arrests happened in Sequatchie County. The suspects are facing felony charges.
We're not done. We're still trying to catch everybody that does this, and if we can find them, we're going to prosecute them.
Look over your shoulder. If you're going to engage in this type of activity and destroy the beautiful forest land in our counties, we're coming for you.
The Tennessee Department of Agriculture set up an arson tip hotline. The number is 800-762-3017, 762-3017. If anyone calls in a tip leading to an arrest, they could receive up to a $2,500 reward. The Tennessee Forestry Division is still working 3 active fires in Hamilton County: Poe Road, Mowbray Mountain, and Flippers Bend on Signal Mountain. Officials say the Flippers Bend fire is at 1,000 acres and is 95% contained. The Mowbray Mountain fire is at 800 acres and is 70% contained. The Poe Road fire has grown 100 acres in the last 24 hours and is now at 650 acres. It's only 60% contained. Officials say when the acreage of the fire remains the same, that's when crews know they are making progress.
One of the things that we're looking for to show that we're doing progress is the lack of heat on those fires. You don't have a lot of active wildfire. You still have some hot spots in there, but it's more cooled off, and that's how you know you're making progress.
Now, the Georgia Forestry Commission says there are 24 new fires in the state, and they're working to contain 3 major wildfires in our viewing area. Let's take a look. The Rocky Faced fire in Whitfield County, Georgia, is at 590 acres, almost fully contained. Now, 2 homes are said to be in danger, but they are monitoring that fire around the clock. The Rough Ridge fire in the Cohutta Wilderness is more than 20,000 acres. And the Tatum Gulf Fire on Lookout Mountain has reached 1,600 acres and is currently 15% contained. Caused some very smoky conditions around Dade County today. I witnessed that firsthand. Now we have more on the Lookout Highlands subdivision.
160 residents from that subdivision returned to their homes today after a mandatory evacuation. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Cameron Taylor followed a family inside the community. Tell us, did they find any damage when they got back, Cameron?
Cindy and David, at last check, this fire has grown to 1,600 acres and it's 15% contained. Neighbors I spoke with say it's nice to be back home, but they're staying vigilant since the wildfire threat isn't over yet. Packing their bags into the car, Pep and Ann Grimes are ready to go home.
I couldn't seem to keep the recliner totally flat, so it'll be nice to be back in our bed tonight.
They spent 3 nights in their real estate office across the street.
It's surreal, knowing what all has been going on here. And this whole week has almost been a blur. You can't keep up with the days.
The couple didn't know what to expect as they drove through the Lookout Highlands gate. Like dozens of others in their neighborhood, they were evacuated on Sunday.
It's just nice to know that we have a home to come home to.
More at ease after seeing their home, Grimes and his wife showed us one of their favorite spots in the neighborhood, the lake. They're grateful for the long hours firefighters have put in to protect this hidden treasure.
When you stand down here at the lake, you can just see why we love it, why we want to be here.
Georgia forestry crews say the process for containing and extinguishing the wildfire will be a gradual one.
Just because of the terrain and our manpower, we don't want to jump too far ahead and give folks a false sense of security from where we're at with this fire.
They're using this water tank and hose to keep the fire at bay. Extra sets of eyes and hands also are on the way to help. Crews ask people returning home to stay alert.
Part of the thought process in that was having more eyes in here to where folks could check around their own homes and notice if there started to be some rekindles or something like that.
Neighbors don't mind since they know their piece of paradise could still be in harm's way.
There's still going to be a danger as long as we don't have rain. And so until we have a good soaking rain, we're going to all have to be very aware.
And we're told the wildfire is expected to reach 3,200 acres. That's double the size of what it is right now. And Georgia Forestry Commission crews tell me they are stretched thin across the state, and they are urging people to not do anything that will start a fire. Live in Dade County, Cameron Taylor, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Cameron. Now breaking news from Bradley County, where 2 juveniles have been found unconscious in a pool at a home.
It happened off Georgetown Road on Ann Lane. The conditions of the children are unknown at this time. Channel 3 has a crew on the way to the scene. We'll keep you up to date. The air quality in Hamilton County reached code red levels today because of the smoke from wildfires. Not as bad now.
But oh my goodness, a few hours ago, the air was bad for everyone, including those who consider themselves healthy. Chief Meteorologist Paul Barris joins us today to talk about the air quality report for tomorrow. And Paul, we've had code this and code that. In Dade County today, it was code unbearable, believe me.
That's right. In places, depending on how close you were to those fires and which direction the wind was blowing, it all depended on all that. Let's take a look right now and show you what was happening today. You can see that area of smoke, the dark gray, especially into the Blue Ridge Mountains coming out of that Rough Ridge fire. And then right over Hamilton County too. And there was a little bit of the area in red. That's where the actual fires are. Down in the southern part of Dade County, there was some pretty good fires out there too. And this is what it looked like from outer space. Look at all those fires again. Now in the upper left-hand corner of your screen, this is a photo taken from one of the satellites. You see that smoke goes all the way down to southern Georgia. Remarkable. Then out into the Atlantic Ocean. Tremendous amounts of smoke out there. We'll have the complete 7-day forecast to tell you about our next chance for rain. And there's 2 days that we got a chance. It's all coming up in a few minutes.
Now let's go to Natalie Potts with more on the situation as far as what we can do to clean up the air.
Yeah, that's right. Well, first, you've got to stop the smoke at its source. If you can, try to keep it from coming inside of your home. Close your windows and doors and keep them closed. You can also use fans to circulate the air and push that smoke out as well. If there is a lot of smoke inside of your home, ServPro Chattanooga, which often restores homes after a major flood or fire, says that you have a couple of different options that you can try out. First, you can clean the hard surfaces inside of your house and cloth materials that may be trapping that smoke smell, and obviously your clothes if you've been out traveling in some of those areas. And in severe cases, you can use a deodorizing machine that will neutralize the air in your home after it has been cleaned so that it stays clean and has that clean smell. An air scrubber or air filtration device will clean the air in your home, and this may be a good option for anyone with a pre-existing respiratory condition like asthma, because the air scrubber has a pre-filter and then a HEPA filter for the small particles found in the wildfire smoke. If you're on a budget, changing out your filter is a good idea to do too, because but before you go out and just buy any filter, you need to first check the label. Only high-performance elite filters work on smoke, and those can be hard to find.
There's very few that do that, and so you need to make sure that you get the right filter. The Filtrate Elite filter is one that will filter out smoke, and usually on the filter itself it'll show the smoke if it filters out smoke.
And of course, we'll have more information about those filters on our website, WRCBTV.com. But for now, reporting live in downtown Chattanooga, Natalie Potts, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Natalie. And we have an entire section dedicated to Wildfire Watch on WRCBTV.com. I bet you those filters are going fast, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, coming up next on the news at 6, usually robbery suspects are the master of disguises.
But this man robbed a check into cash with a reflective vest on. He's not hard to miss, and police need your help finding him. They'll tell you how you can earn up to $1,000 in cash in Crime Stoppers up next.
Well, you hear it all the time. Payday loan places are in the news a lot. They are targets for thieves, much like any business that keep a large amount of cash on hand.
But it's not often the bad guys. The would-be robbers actually make targets out of themselves. Greg Glover explains in this week's Crime Stoppers.
One would think fluorescent colors would be a bad choice for a criminal when thinking of what to wear, as those pieces of clothing are actually designed to attract the eye. Well, the guy we're looking for didn't care or didn't think. Whatever the case, that may be the thing that leads you to Crime Stoppers Reward Cash.
You will see in the video the suspect is wearing a hoodie and sweatpants, but over that hoodie he's wearing a reflective vest.
Most criminals try not to stand out. Meet the exception. It's Friday, October 14th at Check Into Cash on Shallowford Road. Chattanooga Police Officer Victor Miller explains our bad guy didn't shy from being out in the open.
The suspect was seen prior to the incident around the area on foot, and after the incident he fled on foot and was seen on video running from the area.
He went into the business his second time that day around 7:30 in the evening.
He walked behind the counter and pulled out a gun, and he demanded both of the employees to comply, and they did for their safety. So he wanted all the money that was in the cash drawer and all the money that was in the safe.
He grabbed the cash and, with a gun pointed at the clerks, ordered them to the floor, then into a back room where he wedged a chair against the door, trying to seal them in. That's when he fled. Have a good look at the surveillance footage, especially if you're frequently around Shallowford Road and the interstate.
The suspect is described as a black male, approximately 25 to 35 years old, 5'9" and 165 pounds, somewhere about that.
Any information you can give investigators could be worth up to $1,000 Crime Stoppers Reward Cash.
We know that he didn't leave in a vehicle. He didn't get here in a vehicle, so he probably lives somewhere in this area or frequents this area or may work in this area. So if you're in the Shallowford Road area, you may have seen this guy somewhere.
And don't forget that reflective vest.
He probably works in the construction industry or something like that where he wears this on a daily basis, so that may stand out to you and that may be a clue that you could call in with.
If you know anything or you think you've seen that guy, you could be just a phone call away from up to $1,000 reward. So call Crime Stoppers 698-3333. He'll never know you dropped the dime on him. Leave a way for Officer Miller to get back with you. He may have some questions, but he'll never ask who you are. David, Cindy.
Greg, thank you very much. And coming up on Eyewitness News at 6, our poor beleaguered chief meteorologist, Paul Barris. Do you realize, Cindy, everywhere he goes, people ask the same question?
You know they do. He'll let you know when we may see some rain that will help get rid of all the smoke. Stay with us.
Well, 27 days in a row of no rain, and this count will continue to go up. Now, Saturday, we're going to have a chance for some of that rain. The record is 39 days set back in 1935. I hope we get nowhere close to that. But for the next couple days, we're going to be high and dry, so we'll at least get to 29 days there of absolutely no rain. Now, in the satellite radar combination, there's hardly any clouds to be found. We did have that smoke that I showed you on the satellite photo earlier on that went all the way down into the Atlantic Ocean, straight from North Georgia mountains all the way down into North Carolina and further down into the Atlantic. Amazing. Calm winds right now, 64 in the city in Cleveland, 66 Dalton, and 51 out near Murphy. So it's going to be another cold night out near the Murphy Andrews Airport, 73-38. The high and the low for today, and we're almost, by tomorrow, we'll be 20 inches below normal in rain. Unbelievable. 73 Lafayette to 75 in Trenton, 74 Dalton and Calhoun, 70 Chatsworth, 67 in Blue Ridge today. Temperatures near 70 from Saudi Days to Signal Mountain, 71 in Cleveland. Ottawa was 73, while we got to 71 in Etowah, 74 in Athens, 71 in Dayton, and 71 in 10 Mile. Well, Spring City and Pikeville got to 73. Jasper hit 73 too. High pressure is moving off to the east. That lets the return flow come in out of the south. So if a light southerly wind tomorrow, and that'll blow the smoke back into Tennessee and into North Carolina. Stronger winds out in the Great Plains as a snowstorm is out over the Rocky Mountains. And this is 7 o'clock in the morning on Friday. Fairly strong southerly winds throughout the day, and they're going to continue all day long. Then they're going to shift coming in late Friday night and into Saturday morning as that cold front passes. And we'll see a little patch of showers move by. Should be very, very light, but the winds will be strong for the first half of Saturday. This is Saturday at 11 o'clock at night, and then overnight the winds could die down completely. But Saturday, the wind's strong enough to cause problems with those fires and keep them spreading. All right, we're thinking maybe 1/10 of an inch of rain at the very, very most across the Tennessee Valley. It doesn't look like much. We'll probably get less than that, actually. 73 Turtletown for tomorrow. Lots of sunshine, another dry day. Flintstone, you'll hit 76 with a light southerly wind. Tonight, 44, clear skies, a little bit of smoke and haze depending on where those fires are and where you're located. 78 for the high tomorrow, again with smoke and haze, light winds. Tomorrow night, 47 with some smoke and haze. And the 7-day forecast has Friday at 78. That's going to be close to the record of 79. And then coming up on Saturday, showers in the morning. Then they're out of here quickly. Temperatures drop into the 50s. Low 50s Sunday with frost and freeze temperatures coming up Sunday morning and Monday morning. Maybe some rain next Wednesday, too. I think even a little better chance for Wednesday, maybe Thursday morning, Thanksgiving morning. Cross your fingers.
For right now, everybody's saying Saturday. I hope I'm in that 20%.
Yeah, that's about it.
Good luck, folks.
Okay.
Thank you, Paul.
And next in sports, Paul Shaheen talks Josh Dobbs' legacy and Chattanooga basketball's opener.
When you grow up in Alabama, one of two sayings comes naturally. War Eagle or Roll Tide. For the Mocs' Lucas Webb, Roll Tide came naturally. Not only did he grow up 5 minutes from Bryant-Denny Stadium, his dad played for the Tide from '87 to '91. Webb said he may have 20-plus family members on hand this Saturday, and that includes his dad.
He's very supportive. He's really good about it. He's definitely, a real big Alabama fan, but he said, he wants me to do my best. He wants us to have success against them, and if we have a chance to beat them.
Webb traveled with the Mocs as a freshman to Tuscaloosa, but he did not play. He's been watching a lot of Jalen Hurts film and says the Alabama freshman quarterback is truly one of a kind, but not perfect. More on that tonight at 11. I'm about to break an unwritten rule. Never ask a question that requires a lot of thought and then expect you to pay attention to anything I say after that. But in light of Senior Day in Knoxville, the question is, what legacy does quarterback Josh Dobbs leave behind? It's not easy to answer, I know it. All right, snap out of it. Try to answer it later. Here's a few facts to consider. Aside from the fact that his brain is fit for space travel, he's 21-11 as a starting quarterback. He's won 20 of his last 28 games. He leads the SEC right now with 21 passing touchdowns. Yeah, did you know that one? And his 27 career rushing touchdowns is a school best. He hasn't beaten Alabama, but he may get another shot.
Well, I think he defines what a student athlete is all about. You look at what he's meant to this football program, not only on the field but off the field, and it starts with character. And he's a face in this community. He's giving of his time. You look at the curriculum that he's involved in. He's a very good student. I still remember day one walking into that home visit with Stephanie and Robert, and I think it was a 5-hour or so home visit. And we knew we had a special family right then and there.
Tennessee Vols landed a big-time in-state commitment today. The state's #2 offensive lineman, Cron Calbert from Warren County High School, announced his intent to sign with the Vols in February. He's 6'5", 290 pounds, and said, quote, "I'm a Tennessee guy, and I feel there's a lot of pride in that," end quote. On the prep beat now, just 13 local teams remain 6 from Tennessee, one of which has everyone on upset alert. Just ask DeKalb County and Red Bank. East Ridge rolls into our game of the week again as the underdog at unbeaten Sequatchie County in the quarterfinals.
There's been doubt. They've been the underdog the last 2-3 weeks in a row, and they kind of, I guess, they relish that role. So I would prefer not to be, but it is what it is.
And that is our game of the week. We'll hear from Sequatchie County tonight at 11. Of course, that's not the only game we're covering this week. We have 10 seconds left, I'm told. Mocs home opener, Highlands. There we go. 7 o'clock. I'll have highlights at 11.
See you then.